How do you build the strength to say no, even when everyone around you is saying yes? One afternoon at school, Damilola's friends just decided to skip a class. They joked and laughed at him, saying things like, "Come on, don't be such a baby. It's just one period." And Dami knew that it was not the right thing to do. So he wanted to just say no, but he didn't know, he didn't want to just feel left out or be the only one who didn't go. So he followed them and they all got caught. And eventually everybody blamed him too. And that's the funny thing about peer pressure. Most times, nobody forces you. You just don't want to feel different. And that alone can push people into decisions they don't want to make. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to our Daily Bread Ministries Teens podcast. So excited that you're here today. And today we're going to be talking about peer pressure. So what exactly is peer pressure? It is when people around you, those people that are around you, especially your friends, influence what you do. And sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. There is positive peer pressure. For example, like you have friends who inspire you to study harder in school, to pray more, to serve God, to push you to grow. And then there is the negative peer pressure. And this is when your friends, begin to pressure you into things and they mention things like, just try it once. Nothing will happen. Or everybody is doing it. What is wrong with you? Or if you don't join us, you're not part of this group. These are the quiet pressures that pull you in different directions that you don't want to go. So why is it really hard for young people to say no to peer pressure? Because nobody likes feeling alone. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be the one that people laugh at. Nobody wants to lose their friends and become the one who is uncool. So sometimes it feels easier to just follow the crowd instead of standing out. But here's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. You can lose some friends and still not lose your future and still not lose your stand in God. You can be different and still be great. Look, Jesus stood alone many, many times and it didn't make him weak or weaker. The Bible is full of people who faced pressures and still stood strong. And let me share a couple with you. Daniel refused to eat the king's food that was sacrificed to idols. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow to the image when the entire nation bowed. Joseph refused the sexual pressure from Potiphar's wife. Jesus refused temptation from the devil in the wilderness. You see, standing alone has never been a sign of weakness. And many, many times, it is a sign of strength. I want you to know that. So how do you stand strong when pressure feels very heavy? First thing to do is to decide before the pressure comes. I've discovered in my own life, I realized that if I make a decision, if I make a stand before I get into a particular situation, I am more likely to actually withstand the pressure. But you see, if I leave it to, I'll wait when I get into the situation, then we'll see. Believe me, that is like I've lost the battle in most cases. So make a decision before you get to that place. If you don't set your values early, pressure will decide for you. The pressure will decide for you. So what you want to do is you can say things to yourself like, I don't cheat. I don't do drugs. I don't send nudes or view nudes. I don't bully people. I don't gossip. When your boundaries are clear from the beginning, the pressure would actually lose its power. The second thing is to have a simple response that is ready. So you're not fighting people. Sometimes all you need to say is no, thank you. I'm good. This is not my thing. Or I'm working on myself. Or you know what? The person I'm becoming is bigger than this. When you have an answer that is ready, what it does is that it also strengthens your resolve to say no, because it means that you have already planned, you have your values straight. The third thing is to choose friends who respect you. Anyone who mocks you or who mocks your values is not really somebody that you want to keep around as friends. They might be, people who pray, or you pray for, or someone that you influence or influences you. But if they don't deserve that particular, if they don't respect your boundaries, then they don't really deserve that place in your life. You want to look for people who actually value your values, who respect your boundaries, people who look at you and in the future they see somebody who honors God, somebody who is really given over to God, who would not compromise their values. The fourth thing is, don't be afraid to walk away. Now, when you leave, a lot of people will think it's weakness. You realize that Jesus walked away, right? At some point. There was a point that they wanted to crown Jesus king, and it wasn't time. He walked away. Joseph ran away from temptation, and you don't have to stand and argue. There is no need. If you stand to argue, believe me, you're putting yourself more at risk of giving in. So just walk away. And the final thing I would suggest is ask God for strength. There will be times that you feel really scared or hurt or alone, but I want you to know that God sees you. God rewards your courage to say no. God would give you the strength if you ask. You can pray something simple like, Lord, help me stay strong even when no one else is standing strong. Here's a single challenge for you. I want you to think of 3 areas that you're facing pressure right now. Maybe it's the pressure to drink, or to do whatever it is, to date somebody that you shouldn't, to skip school, to see things or watch things that you know you shouldn't, or just the pressure to fit in. I want you to write one strong response for each one of them. For each one of them. Again, this is you're preparing beforehand. You're preparing beforehand. So the pressure will say, my friends, keep asking me, for example, to smoke. Your friends will say, oh, let's go and smoke. You can say, you know what? No, thank you. I respect my future and I respect my health. Simple. And there is no need for further explanation. But I want you to remember this. You don't need a crowd to succeed. You don't need everybody around you. People sometimes laugh at those who just stand apart. But deep down, they respect them. They might not say it. And one day, the same people who mock you might actually come asking you for advice because they see that you are a person who has strength. Now, speak this to yourself gently. I want you to say this. Say, I choose my future. I choose to honor God. I choose to be a person who honors the values that are biblical and not fall for the pressures of this world. I choose my values, not the validation of people. And even if I stand alone, I will still stand. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If this was a blessing to you, then consider sharing it with your friend and drop a comment in the comment section, and we would be glad to see what stood out for you. If you have a question, drop it there and we will definitely respond to you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.